Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing tonight? What's your first name?
Yvonne.
Okay. Off camera, you started to tell us something that happened 5 years ago. What happened? What would you like to talk about?
5 years ago, I moved from Washington State.
Okay.
I left behind a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house.
Why did you leave Washington State?
I came to Florida to visit my sister and fell in love with Florida. Washington State is...
And how long ago was this again?
Almost 5 years ago.
5 years ago, you fell in love with Florida when you came from Washington State.
Yep, my sister lived here.
Okay.
I was helping her go through a military divorce.
Right.
And I had 15 years of sobriety.
Okay.
And came here. My sister is an alcoholic.
Yes, ma'am.
And ended up not plugging into my recovery and ended up going into a relapse off and on the last 5 years.
What's your drug of choice?
Alcohol.
Okay, so it's, you don't smoke crack or do
Nope.
you use any other drugs, like heroin, meth,
Nope.
anything like that?
Nope. Years
What about
ago, years ago.
What did you do years ago?
Years ago, a little bit of meth because I was an exotic dancer. And that's what actually turned me into an alcoholic.
Okay.
So it kind of went with the territory.
So a nude dancer at a strip club?
I would rather call it exotic dancing.
Okay. What about that do you think caused or attributed to or influenced the alcoholism?
Just the fact that, I was always a very shy person of my body. And I felt like I needed to have a little bit of some kind of substance to block that
Kind of liquid
out.
bravery to loosen you up a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
And it became an addiction, I presume?
The money became an addiction.
Okay.
And so hand in hand, it was the only job I know that you can drink on the job.
Ah, I see.
And so that's what basically turned me into an alcoholic. And then I ended up getting sober. I was a single mom of 2 young boys by myself. And that's when I decided I wanted to stop drinking because they deserved a sober mom. And for the next 15 years, I was a sober mom. I was a 9th grade dropout, but in my sober years, I ended up getting my GED, an associate's in arts degree, and a bachelor's degree.
Where are your kids now?
In Washington State.
Do you stay in touch with them?
Yes.
If they happen to, by chance, somehow ever see this interview, what message would you say to them? What would you say to them now?
That I'll always love them with all my heart.
How old are they now?
My youngest is 21 and my oldest is 27.
Okay, so they're adults. They're kind of living on their own now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they want their mom home. They worry about their mom. They know that Florida's basically chewed me up and spit me out many times here.
Have you ever been a prostitute?
No.
Okay. You must have been propositioned at when you were working as an exotic
sure. A lot of girls disappeared off the stage floor.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
So you live in Pinellas Hope, which is is that a homeless shelter?
It's basically, we call it Tent City.
Oh, you live in Tent City. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
You live in a tent there?
Live in a tent.
How is it? What can you tell us about that?
Well, considering I'm basically a country girl, it's like camping.
How long have you lived there?
Almost 3 months, and I'm ready to get out of there.
Okay. Done with it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Time to get my own place and move forward.
How much money do you have saved up to do that in 3 months? I understand they make you save some money there?
Yeah, they want you to save at least 85% of your check.
Okay. And have you been able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so you're on the right path then.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sometimes people that I interview like to give a phone number. So if anyone sees the interview and wants to help them, they can reach out to you by phone. Would you like to give a phone number?
Sorry, my phone is shattered, so now I'm without communication.
Oh, that stinks.
Well, I remember the dial phones and the 8-track tapes.
What advice would you have someone who is homeless, newly homeless, or about to be homeless? How do they survive? What do they watch out for? What do they do and not do?
I've never been homeless before. I was only homeless on the street for one night, and a sheriff rescued me.
Where'd he take you?
Took me to Safe Harbor.
Okay. So that's a homeless shelter. That's different than Tent
That's a homeless
City.
shelter. That is more like a jail
Yeah.
with a little freedom,
Yeah.
and that's all that is. You don't have no dignity. You're not treated.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add to the interview before we terminate?
Know that I love my boys and I want to go back home and be with them again.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate the interview, okay?
Thank you.
Have a good night.